welcome to my channel, AllasYummyFood. I'm Alla, the host of this show, and today we're making the most requested and delicious cake ever. It's Sacher Torte, which is a chocolate apricot cake topped with chocolate ganache. Absolutely amazing. You have nice chocolate sponges soaked in apricot, lemon syrup, and jam, and topped with rich chocolate ganache with a little bit of rum in there, if you fancy it, but don't tell anyone. It's so delicious. You will love this cake, absolutely love it. So let's get baking. First thing we're gonna do is whip our butter. So add your unsalted room temperature butter and use an electrical whisk to whip it up for a couple of minutes. You want to make sure it's nice and pale. Then you want to add your icing sugar and mix everything together gently first, otherwise it's going to go everywhere. And then once it's mixed through, you're going to go ahead and mix it one more time until it becomes nice and creamy. Then you want to add your vanilla extract, mix everything through. Then add egg yolks one at a time. So you add one egg yolk, mix it through. Then add more egg yolks and mix it through, and basically keep going until you finish up with your egg yolks. And the mixture will start to turn a bit more beautiful and yellow and golden, just like this. In a bowl, I have melted my dark chocolate in a microwave over 30-second breaks. You can also do this over the double boiler. And once your chocolate has cooled down, you want to add 1 tablespoon at a time into your butter, sugar, and egg mixture and mix it through. You want to just incorporate it and then stop mixing and add more chocolate as you go. Mix it through and gently add more chocolate and incorporate it. This is essential to do it in steps so you don't cook your eggs and you don't have any mixtures, breaking apart, and we have nice emulsion. Once you've mixed all your chocolate, you want to take your spatula and go around the edges and mix everything through, making sure that everything is mixed in. Now we're going to set this aside. In a different bowl or jug, you want to add your egg whites with salt and whisk it up on high speed until you start to get the mixture nice and foamy, just like this. And then you want to start slowly adding a little bit of sugar at a time and just keep mixing on a high speed. It's really essential to add sugar a little bit at a time so you don't ruin your meringue, and this is the part which is going to make our cake really nice and fluffy. So just keep adding a little bit of sugar at a time and mixing until you get nice stiff meringue, just like this. Then you're going to add a little bit of meringue into your chocolate mixture. I usually add 1 spoon first, mix it through, and then just keep adding 1 large sort of scoop of my meringue into the chocolate and just keep mixing it. You want to go around the edges and then through the middle, and it's really important not to over whisk this and over mix this, as you don't want to deflate your egg whites and you want the cake to be very airy and fluffy. So once you've added your last bit, just gently mix everything through and it should look just like this, beautiful and chocolatey. Then you're gonna sift all your dry ingredients into your mixture. I would recommend adding half of your dry ingredients first, mixing it through, and you can gently shake it off and then mix everything through and just kind of keep going and mixing it through. Over here, I've got my baking tin. You want to spray it with some cooking oil and then add flour. You want to coat your rings so that the cake comes off nice and easily. And then just add all your batter right in the middle. Then just even it out into your mold and just make it nice and even. We're going to bake this for a while until it's done. I'll leave all the measurements. And once your cake is done, you want to leave it to cool down completely and then take it out of your mold. You can also cut off the top bit just so we can get the sponge out there. We do want all the bubbles as we're going to be adding our delicious apricot jam inside, and we want to make sure the cake soaks through. Only cut your cake when it has completely cooled down, otherwise it will break apart. So you want to cut your sponge in half and try and do it as evenly as you can. And look at all these air bubbles. How beautiful does it look? Now to make our glaze, you want to add your apricot jam into your pot. You can use fresh apricots and some sugar. I'm just using apricot jam, so it's a bit faster. And I usually just melt it over a medium heat. And you can add water or lemon juice. I recommend you add lemon juice inside. And then just mix everything and then add it to your sponge. Go around the edges, through the middle, and make sure the jam really soaks through the sponge, as this is the best part about this cake. And then you're gonna put your second layer on top and make sure it's nice and even. And if you see the sponge is a bit dry on top, you can just use a little knife to make little incisions to make sure a jam falls through and also soaks in. And then you're gonna add the second half of your apricot jam on top and do the same thing. You wanna spread it around the cake, go around the sides and the edges, making sure, you know, the jam really soaks through. Then you wanna leave the cake and let it chill. Over here, I'm going to show you how to make the ganache. I've melted butter and chocolate together, and over here I'm adding my glucose syrup. And you want to just mix everything together until it's all mixed through. This is optional, but you can add rum. It adds a lot of flavor to it. But if you don't want to add rum, just don't add anything in this step. Now it's time to glaze the cake. So line it with some cling film, put it on top of a baking tray so that you can pour your glaze over the cake. Now you can do this all over. If you want the top to be more smooth, you can always de-seed your apricot jam and make it more like a jello, but I don't mind the rusty look. And then with the leftover ganache, you can write the Sacher cake. And make sure to leave the cake to soak through and enjoy it when it's done. All the directions will be left in your recipe. Once your cake is ready, you want to slice it up, decorate it with some whipping cream, and just enjoy. It's so delicious, very, very light chocolate flavor with a hint of sour apricots together with a rich chocolate ganache. This cake is so fantastic and very, very light and delicious. I hope you try it and enjoy.